Welcome, everybody. Hi, I'm Keith Vitali, and welcome to Sidekick Podcasts. Before we get started with this episode, say hi to my producer, Corey Gomez. Hi, Corey.
Hey, hey, how are you?
I'm fine. Listen, a lot of our episodes we do together, you surprise me with questions, and I purposely didn't let you know what my categories are going to be or my subject matter is going to be in these episodes. What I want to do, I want to share with my audience my own perspective, whom I think are the best of the best when we're dealing with all the categories of martial arts films. I'm talking about the bad guys. I'm talking about the best TV shows, the best movies. I'm talking about the best actors and actresses. So, the best stunt coordinators. So, in this particular episode, I want to focus on the bad guys because without the bad guys, you wouldn't have any films. The badder the bad guy, the better the star is when he defeats him at the end of the film. So here's my list of the top 10 best martial arts villains, the bad guys. Now, what I want to tell the audience is this. This is my own perspective. There's no right or wrong. And at the end of this, I'm going to talk to Corey about what he thinks as well. There's no right wrong answer, no right answer. But I do have a background of producing films and starring in films and stunt choreographing films, etc. So my perspective might be a little different, but these are the ones that I consider the best bad guys. And what's unique about them is that most of them also play good guys in films at the same time. Now, some always play the bad guy, but there's some we'll talk about that is interchangeable. Now, for myself, I played the good guy in a few films like Revenge of the Ninja. And there's a few films where I was a good guy. Then there's some films like Wheels on Mills. I was the bad guy. Super Fights. I'm the bad guy. It's more fun to play the bad guy roles, to be honest with you. So these are whom I think are the very best. I'm going to start off with my good friend Benny Urquidez. And the reason I'm starting off with him, I did a film with him called Wheels on Mills with Jackie Chan. Experts consider his end fight scene the best martial arts fight scene of all time. And there's thousands and thousands of fight scenes. So think about that. That they consider his fight scene one of the best fight scenes, if not the best of all time. So I had to go with my good friend Benny Urquidez and Wilson Mills. Next is another friend of mine named Bob Wall. He's no longer with us, but Bob Wall played the O'Hara character. He had a scar down his cheek. Remember, he spoke with created the scar with Robert Klaus, the director of Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee. But it was that Bruce Lee film with Bob Wall, and Bob Wall was the bad guy. And you can just always picture because everybody's seen Enter the Dragon, and at the end, Bruce Lee's fighting this tall American guy with a scar, O'Hara, and so it had an impact on the rest of the world. The next one is Bolo Young. Now, Bolo Young's one of those guys who will always play the bad guy. He very seldom ever plays a good guy, or I've never seen it. But Bolo Young, he played, like in Bloodsport with Van Damme. He played Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee. I just remember Han's character, the evil villain in that movie, going Bolo, and Bolo would always grunt. So people would always have fun with that character all the time. So he's like my number third guy. This guy, Darren Chevalier. Now, I produced a film with him with Gary Daniels and Blood Moon, and I'm telling you, this guy's one of the most talented characters you'll ever see. But what I thought he did just as good in another movie called Ip Man 2 and with Donnie Yen. And he had the whole end fight scene. It was incredible. Just an incredible fight scene. So he's probably one of the best. But again, here's another character who plays good guys as well. And then we have Richard Norton, my good friend Richard Norton. Now, Richard Norton, I love this guy. And he was one of the bad guys in Octagon, but he really got his start as the bad guy in the Jackie Chan films. And I'm Mr. Nice, and there's a Lucky Stars, and there's other ones, but he's so good. And if you watch these films with Richard Norton and Jackie Chan, and especially his fight scenes with Sammo Hung, you'll realize he's one of the great bad guys in films. But he's probably played, I would guess, 80, 70, 80 films as the good guy as well. And one of my favorite films with him is with Sean O'Brien, with Cynthia Rothrock and Keith Cook. So he's great no matter which direction he goes. And then here's a guy who I've never seen really in the good guy film, Matthias Hughes. He's normally the bad guy in all the films. He did Black Belt with Don Wilson. He's done 100 films, but he's your prototype. Again, if I had to pick the prototype for a bad guy, I want a guy 6'6", 250. I want him long haired, chiseled, muscular, and this guy is great. Now I spent a week with him in Berlin. He's the nicest guy in the world. He's got the best personality. And I really love the guy. But on film, he's just a badass. So he's really good as one of my best bad guys. Dolph Lundgren. I talked to you a lot about Dolph Lundgren. Great athlete. Again, he was in Rocky IV. He was a prototypical bad guy Russian. And again, if you're writing a script and you just write whom you'd want, give me somebody about 6'4", perfect build, perfect everything. Oh, by the way, throw in the fact that he's a genius on top of that as well in real life. And he's just perfect as the bad guy in films. And then we have Mark Dacascos. Now, Mark Dacascos plays a lot of good guys as well, but he's in the Ip Man 4 series. This guy is one of the most talented fighters I have ever seen. I've never had the pleasure of meeting him. I've had the pleasure of knowing his mom, but not knowing him. But every time I see Mark Dacascos in a film, I always go, God, I wish I had been in a film with this guy. He's just so fantastic. And so now we have two guys. Please bear with me. My pronunciation of their names, they're from Indonesia, and I have a hard time with their names. But I'm going to say this guy's name is Marco Zarro. If you don't know who Marco Zarro is, his last name spelled Zaror. Google him. You'll see his films. I think he's the best athlete I've ever seen, especially as the bad guy. But where he made his name was in Undisputed 3 with Scott Adkins, and he was the main bad guy in that film. Together, fighting Scott Adkins, I've never seen techniques like that. I've never seen moves. So if I can explain this to the audience, imagine someone coming from Circus du Soleil, one of these circuses where they can do all the acrobatic stuff. Imagine somebody's been to the Olympics, take the best martial artists you've ever seen, combine those skills. You've got Scott Atkins and this guy, Marco Zorro, 6'2", 6'3", 200 something pounds. And to do these 720 jump spin upside down kicks I've never seen before. I mean, they've taken martial arts skills and they've just really moved the needle so far north that it's hard to believe. So watch out for that guy. That guy's just tremendous. And then there's a guy, get this name, Johan Ruhan. Now, what I like about this guy, he was in Raid 1 and Raid 2. He's not your prototype. He's a tiny little guy, maybe 5'4", 5 or whatever, maybe 130 pounds. He's so good. He's in the John Wick movies. He's in Undisputed. He's in so many movies as the bad guy because he's so talented. But you just can't believe what you're watching when you watch a guy small that can move as fast as this guy. So that's my list of the top 10. And I hope you enjoy. Now, here's what I want you to do at home. Let me know what you think about my top 10. And then let me know if you disagree or kind of give me your idea of who you think are the top 10 or a few of the bad guys. And what about you, Corey? Do you have any more bad guys that I left out that you can think of?
You left off my favorite martial art bad guy, which forgive me, I don't know the actor's name. We've discussed my favorite martial arts movie, Kill and Kill Again. The bad guy is Marduk. And I'm picking Marduk because he doesn't wear a fake wig or anything. He wears a fake beard and a fake mustache. Wears a suit like a UPS man drives and plans to take over the world with a drug made out of potatoes. That makes him my main bad guy. I'll pick Mr. Hand from Enter the Dragon. Any other ones that you forgot? I don't know. Matthias Hughes is like the prototype for bad guys, but one that I will say, I'm gonna pick Scott Adkins because I've seen him play I'm picking Marduk first, but Scott Adkins because I've seen him play the bad guy in Expendables 2. Even Boyka, the character, is introduced as a bad guy. I think he plays a really good bad guy with the Russian accent and the voice. I really do like him as a bad guy character. I wish he would do a little bit more, to be honest with you. But he's no Marduk.
Yeah, I just think he's probably the most versatile actor out there. He's my choice. I've never seen anybody that can do what he can do. And then I like his accents in films as well when he's playing book. He had the Russian accents. And there's one movie he did called Avengement where he came out of prison and I tell you what, I was so blown away from that film. I just couldn't believe it because here's somebody when you're the lead actor, you always want to look good and really be projected in the best light possible. Not him. He came out looking as nasty as you could possibly come out and scarred and nasty. Came out of prison and he was bad to the bone. I loved every second of that film. So no, but you're right. And again, there's no right or wrong answers. It's to every it's whatever your perspective is and no, but those are good choices. Han, I've met Han myself, and I had to choose. I was only going to choose one from. I actually choose a couple already from Enter the Dragon. But just think about it. Enter the Dragon is such a powerful film. I picked Bolo, I picked O'Hara, and now you're picking Han. So three characters from that film that have had an impact that just have really inspired a generation of martial artists. Not just martial artists, but film directors, producers, stunt coordinators, actors as well. So, all right, listen, I'm so glad I got to share that with the audience. Please leave comments. Let me know what you think, and I'll respond to you in the comments. And as always, please, I want you to like it and share it, and please subscribe if you can. Till next time, ciao.